Welcome to the paid parking pre-release task 1. Now task 1 requires you to calculate the final cost for parking depending on the day you arrive, the time you arrive, and the number of hours you would like to park. So the first thing we're going to do is store the required data in 3 arrays and a constant. Okay, according to the description, they tell us, you're going to arrive on one of the days of the week, either Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I've stored an array called days of week, and it's of type string, and I've saved those 7 values in it. Another array is the maximum hours. If you're parking early, the maximum hours on Sunday is 8 hours. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the maximum hours you're allowed to park is 2. And on Saturday, the maximum hours you're allowed to park is 4. The third piece of important information is the price you're going to pay. If you're coming early between 8 a.m. and 15 o'clock, you will be paying per hour, and on Sunday the price is $2 per hour. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday it's $10 per hour, and on Saturday it's $3 per hour. If you are arriving after 16 o'clock on any of those days, whether it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, the price is $2 and you are allowed to park until midnight. So now we've stored all the given data. It's time to start taking some user input. Now, the first piece of user input is the day of arrival. So what day is the user coming? So we're going to make a parking day variable, and it will input, the person will type, for example, Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday. Now we want to validate that the user has typed exactly one of those 7 values. So we're using some type of lookup validation. And whenever we validate, we use a while loop. So I'm going to type while parking day is not equal to Sunday, and parking day is not equal to Monday, and parking day is not equal to Tuesday, and parking day is not equal to Wednesday, and parking day is not equal to Thursday, and parking day is not equal to Friday, and parking day is not equal to Saturday. So this means while the parking day is not equal to any of the valid 7 options, give an error message and ask the user to retype the day that they're arriving. So we're going to say parking day equals input error, please type a valid parking day. Now I'd like you to open Python and try the lines of code we just completed. So we initialized 3 arrays. The first array was days of week of type string, and it contained the 7 days of the week. The second array was called max hours. It contained the maximum number of hours you can park each day if you're parking early. So 8 on Sunday, 2 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and 4 on Saturday. And a third array of type real, which contains the cost per hour. If you're coming on Sunday, it's $2. Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's $10. And on Saturday, it's $3. And we also declared a constant price late, and the data type of the constant is real because it has a decimal value. Then we input the parking day, which day will you arrive. We validated the parking day, so we made sure that the parking day was either Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday and Friday or Saturday. And if it wasn't, an error message was given and an opportunity to input the parking day was also given. So we've completed step 1, storing the data. Step 2, inputting the parking day and validating the parking day. And it's time for step 3. In step 3, we are going to run a small search algorithm to be able to identify the corresponding index to the parking day you have chosen. So if you've chosen Sunday, the index is 0 because Sunday is located at position 0 in the array days of week. Okay, if you've chosen Monday, the index is 1. Tuesday it's 2. Wednesday it's 3. Thursday it's 4, Friday it's 5, and Saturday it's 6. Now, the index is significant because we need to be able to access the maximum number of hours on Sunday. And to do that, we need to identify that the element index 0 will represent Sunday, which will represent a maximum hours of 8. Okay, and same thing on Sunday, it's at index 0, the price early is 2, and using index 0, we'll be able to identify that the price early on Sunday is $2. Okay, so the search algorithm uses a for loop because any kind of array manipulation requires a for loop. It requires you to iterate through all the values from 0 7 times because we have 7 values. So for count in range from 0 7 times, check if the parking day that was input is equal to days of week of count. Take that count and store it in index. Let's say, for example, I chose Friday. So if parking day is equal to days of week of 5, now my index is 5. Once we finish step 3, it's time to move on to the next input. We need the user to input the arrival hour. Okay, so we're going to say arrival hour equals int of input, type the hour you will arrive. Now we need to validate the arrival hour. The best validation to use would be range check because the description has given us that parking is open from 8 a.m. till midnight. So we would, of course, since we're using validation, we'll say while arrival hour is less than 8 or greater than 23, that's out of the range that we're allowed. So output or print an error message, invalid hour, the parking opens from 8 till midnight, please type an hour from 8 till 23. And of course, before we close the while loop, we need to take the input of the arrival hour. Now that we've finished step 4, we have the final input before the frequent parking number, which is the number of hours you will be parking. So again, we'll say num hours is equal to int input, type the number of hours you will leave your car in the parking. The thing with num hours is you're going to have to do 2 validations. You're going to have to do 2 different range checks depending on the arrival hour. So we'll start with if arrival hour is greater than or equal to 16 o'clock. So if the person has arrived and is parking late, then we need to make sure that they've typed a number of hours that they will leave the parking by midnight. So we're going to say while num hours plus arrival hour is greater than or equal to 24, print invalid. The parking is going to close at midnight. Please retype the number of hours, okay, to make sure that you leave before midnight. The second validation for the number of hours is the other option, which means that you're coming to park in the morning. So we said if arrival hour is greater than or equal to 16, now we'll do else. Else means you're parking between 8 a.m. and 15 o'clock. And we said that there's a maximum hours on Sunday of 8 hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the maximum is 2 hours, and on Saturday, the maximum is 4 hours. So we're going to validate while the number of hours you type is greater than the maximum hours allowed at that index, we're going to have to give an error message, invalid number of hours. The maximum you can park this morning is max hours of the corresponding index. And we'll give an opportunity to retype the number of hours. Once step 5 is done, you have a valid parking day, so here's valid arrival hour, and a valid number of hours of parking. You're ready to calculate the cost before adding the frequent parking number discount. So here's how step 3 and step 4 and step 5 look in Python. We have a short searching algorithm to be able to locate the index. Then we did step 4, which is the arrival hour. We input the arrival hour and we performed a range check to make sure that the arrival hour is between 8 and 23. And finally, we input the number of hours. If we arrived after 16 o'clock, so we arrived late, then we made sure that the number of hours plus the arrival hour was not greater than or equal to 24, because then it would be midnight and the parking would be closed. Else, meaning they arrived in the morning, we have to make sure that the number of hours they input is not
exceeding the maximum number of hours for that particular day.
It's time for the last step to be able to calculate the final cost. So if we arrive at 16 o'clock or after, the final cost is equal to the constant price late, which was $2. So we're going to print parking will cost final cost, and it will say that it costs $2. Else, meaning we parked in the morning, the final cost is equal to price early of index multiplied by the number of hours. For example, I came on Friday. The price early on Friday, so the price early of index 5 is equal to $10 per hour. And I came for 2 hours. So this should show me that parking will cost $20. Okay, thank you for watching the beginning of task 1. What's left is the frequent parking number. If you need a video on that, leave me a comment. Thanks. Bye-bye.